Okay, boys and girls, here we go. This is practice for learning target 6. Like my blue. Alright, so this is level 2. In order to be able to do level 2, you should have completed assignments 2 and 3. And number 20. So assignment 2 is J1, not assignment 2, silly. Assignment 16, wow. Assignment 16, which is J1 and J2. Assignment 17, which is J3, complete a function table. And assignment 20, which is T7 to vertex form. Okay, label the image with corresponding parts. Again, basically all of the labels have an arrow like that. So basically oh, I did put the points there. That's cool. So that one's the vertex. This one is the y-intercept. The axis of symmetry. And this is the x. Paper, blah, 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 blah. There are 2 ways you can complete this. One is by making a table. You should first know where the vertex is. So it'd be nice if you found the axis of symmetry first. We have x squared minus 6x plus 11. That means a is 1, b is 6, negative 6, and c is 11. So we have negative 6 over 2 times 1, which is 6 over 2, which is 3. That is our vertex, or the x part of the vertex anyway. And then you're going to plug that 3 into your function. 3 squared minus 6 times 3 plus 11. We have 9 minus 18 plus 11. We have negative 9 plus 11. We have positive 2. So now that we know our vertexes, y-intercept is easy, by the way. It's 0, 11. We might want to see what's happening maybe a little bit in between there. How about at 2 and how about at 4? Of course, that's the axis of symmetry is right here at x equals 3. So whatever happens here should be happening here as well. So we plug 2 into our equation. We have 2 squared minus 6 times 2 plus 11. We have 4 minus 12 plus 11. We have 8, negative positive 3. We should check to make sure that's also positive 3, but it should be. And let's go over here at 3, 2. 3, 2. And once again, folks, this one's the only one that it could be. That's the only one that has a vertex at 3, 2. But if you wanted to make a table, that's your table there. If you didn't want to do it that way and you wanted to do it by changing it to vertex form, you got x squared minus 6x plus 11. You take your x squared minus 6x, you leave a big space, you put 11 way over there. Way over there. And we're going to put it in nice pretty purple. And then basically you're going to take 6, you're going to divide it by 2, and then you're going to square that. You're going to take that number and you're going to add it here, and you're going to subtract it over here. So you have x minus 3 squared, 11 minus 9 is 2. Your vertex is at 3, 2, your HK, and again, that should match. Then what you should do is again, probably go around the same route as this. Basically, your y-intercept is easy. And maybe you want to find your x-intercepts. Notice what's going to happen here is you're going to have eyes, which is fine, but it seems to be a lot of work. I might want to take this. You can use that for over there. This just basically helps you pick a good place to start. If you made the table without any of that, you might make a table by going -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. It may or may not be helpful, because notice you're not going to have anything until you're not going to see a parabola until you get past 3. So that's why you can use all of this area over here. It's basic. It's basically just to focus where you're gonna, what you're gonna plug in. And then you can use the same thing over there as well. That's fine. All right, the idea is that you use a table, and there is a table on top of that to find the rest of them. That's up to you, but you should have a couple more points. All right, that's 6 minutes into it. So we're 5 minutes into it. We're running out of time. I'm gonna put the answers, and that way you can check. Okay, so this one on the test honestly didn't matter too much. Not very many people tried it. I'm gonna tell you, here's a problem. All right, I was gonna give this question on the final. Here's the problem, right? This has fractions in here. It's not really a problem. It's going to be a problem with most of you guys. And honestly, it was a problem for me at that age too. It's nothing against you guys. It's just we didn't cover a lot of this. We didn't practice a lot of this with fractions. So, and then I was looking at this. I accidentally gave the wrong question. I copied the final. The correct answers for that one is not there. But nobody tried it, so I guess it doesn't matter that much. On the final, I'm not going to give a number that's odd here, because every time that's odd, you're going to get a fraction. So I'm going to give something like x squared minus 6x, blah, blah, blah. X squared minus 12x. Those are totally doable. Take it, divide it by 2, you get 6. You square it, you get 36. Okay, so my bad. I made a mistake here. And then I used everything else that was right. So I'm not going to go into this. Graph the function. You graph the function the same way you did it for level 2. Describe the transformation. If it's if this is the vertex, you're going to move it 3 units to the left. If your vertex, let's see, if you're 3 squared plus 2. This is 3 units to the right. It's the opposite of what you would think. And this is 2. If this is a minus 2, it's 2 units down. If this is a plus 4, it's 4 units to the left. This is opposite. This is just exactly what you would think. What is the axis of symmetry? Well, once we find the vertex, the axis of symmetry is whatever that is. What is the vertex? Well, once you have vertex form, there's your vertex. What is the y-intercept? The y-intercept's whatever you had at the beginning. It's 2. What are the x-intercepts? That's the one you're going to have to use the quadratic formula. Those would be your answers. Notice the radicals. If they have radicals, use the quadratic formula or square root method. All right, I'm going to move on to level 4. Again, we have something like this. You're going to want to see if it's factorable. Basically, you're taking a look at 2 different people. One person threw it, one person dropped it. Because one person threw it, it's going to have an initial velocity that's stronger or faster than the other person. They want to know, since she threw it, how fast is it going to go? You might want to factor. You might want to use quadratic formula. Just make sure you use calculator. The numbers are big. Okay, so this one here. Excuse me. So we want to basically compare the 2 different functions. I look at this one again. I try to factor it. Looks like it has a -4 that comes out. We don't care about that. So we just, if this is 0, then we're good. So 4t squared minus 25 equals 0. Add 25 to both sides. Use the square root method. Divide by 4. You can split it up, radical 25 over radical 4. Well, that's pretty cool, because 5 is a perfect square. 25 is a perfect square. 4 is a perfect square. So you get 5 over 2. We don't care about the negative part. The negative time doesn't matter. So 5, if you take a calculator, it's basically 2.5. 4, 5 divided by 2. Okay, so about 2.5 seconds. The other one looks like it was also factorable. We could factor out a -4. And then I tried to do this. I kind of stopped because I kind of doubted that it's factorable. I guess I could try it again, split it up by 2. So I tried these ones. These ones are not factor 5s. Remember, I want to get a 5. I have 10 and oh, it is factorable. I want a -5. So that means I need a -10 and a +5. So that means I didn't have to do all of this, but if I did, you can take a look at it. You can pause it and see. Oops. All right, so right here, it turns out it was factorable, so I'm just going to use those. So 2t plus 5 equals 0, and t minus 5 equals 0. 2t equals negative 5. Again, we don't really care about the negative part. So t equals 5. What? I'm going to pause it and just double check it. Yeah, I was worried because it didn't match, and sure enough, this is supposed to be 4t squared, so that means there'd have to be a 2t there. We still need it to be negative 5, and we need it to be 25. So we've got 10 and 10. That didn't work. And that's too big. So it turns out it is not factorable. My bad. So that's what the quadratic formula looks like. You only need to worry about these numbers as your A, B's, and C's. You don't need to go back to the bigger numbers, which is pretty cool. So you end up with 3.2 seconds. Simplify here, you get radical 425. At this point, you can just use your calculator. You're going to get about 20.6. Add it to 5, set equals, push equals, divide it by 8. Then you get approximately 3.2 seconds. You take your 3.2 seconds and you subtract your 2.5 seconds, and it gives you about 0.7 seconds. And that's a good enough answer. If you gave your decimal points, further decimal points, just make sure that you estimated correctly. Cut it off and estimate it correctly. All right, and that is the test, and I'm going to start working on the finals. All right, good luck. See you guys.